Hi, my name is Hannah van Westhuysen and I'm at FrConventions. So my audition was really quick. I actually only went in for one audition and I think I related so much to having a horrible time at school, and the scenes that I auditioned with were like the scene where Stella is saying to Sky, you know, everyone hates me and no one knows me and no one understands me. And I think they were like, oh, you're perfect, because I related so much. And then my first day on set was actually doing the stone circle scene with Bloom. So it was kind of this really intense, very quite mean scene. It was like a baptism by fire and very full on, and Abby was amazing and super cooperative and yeah, made me feel really safe and appreciated. So it was a really, really great first day on set, really fun. So when I was preparing, I did watch the original cartoons, but I also felt aware that the live action version is very different from the original cartoon. It felt quite nice to be like, I think that's where the evolved version of Stella is, who is like full of love, can be quite mean, can be very sassy, but you know, has a heart of gold essentially. And at the beginning of, you know, Fate, she's a lot more troubled and has a journey to go on. So I made a diary and I like wrote all these questions and really like delved into her background and her upbringing to sort of justify all of her cruelty, so that then as the show progresses, you know, she can heal and trust people and become that really wonderful original sort of cartoon character in human form, obviously, that everyone loves so much. The pressures was and still remains really full on. I think mainly just because this is so many people's childhood. Childhood is so sacred, and the things that were important and special to you are so, yeah, it's really hard to live up to people's expectations, and I'm really grateful for the people who have an open mind about it, because you can't be everyone's perfect ideal version of their, you know, favourite childhood character. But my intention is always to try and serve people to the best of my ability and work as hard as I can to achieve that. And also to make the characters rich and human and different enough that people can suspend their reality and enjoy this as a slightly new thing rather than just a carbon copy of the original. So yeah, I'm really grateful to the fans who have been like open to all of that. It's really nice. It's interesting her having this relationship with Sky, because the narrative of, you know, two women fighting over one man is boring, and it's been done and no one wants to see that. And I think Brian was very aware of that when he was writing the show, that he wanted to create this sort of thing of being like, oh, are these two girls gonna fight over this one guy? And then the answer was no. And that's the thing that's really key, being like, that's irrelevant, friendship is more important, it has more longevity. And also the development of Sky and Stella's relationship, coming out of something that was romantic and being like, we don't suit each other, what does our relationship look like now as friends, I think is a really exciting thing. Obviously I think Stella deserves love, and I'm really excited for her to have love, but I think her platonic friendships need to be there first, so that then she can learn and practice to let people love her, to then have the romance that she deserves. I feel really proud of Stella. I think it's interesting because Stella is so different to who I am, that she does feel like a character that I know so well, and I feel very protective of her journey. Yeah, I very much, season 2 was like, I don't want her, she of course she's not perfect, she still slips up and she fails and she lets her trauma get the best of her, but her path is definitely one toward healing, toward friendship and connection, and I think that exploration is really like tested and comes to fruition in season 2. You really want to do a good job with any storyline that you are given as an actor, because it's always someone's truth, it's always someone's story. You always want to serve it to the best of your ability so that people feel seen and understood and recognised. In particular, this relationship with her mum, as with the, whether it be a tiny amount of pressure to get good grades, or the fact that you are completely estranged from a parent, the ripple effects that has on your life was the thing that I felt very aware of. The reason Stella has all these trust issues is because of her mum, and it felt almost like the thing that I really loved about the storyline is being like, vulnerability and kindness and connection is the cure for those sort of traumas, even though they're really hard to do. And that was something that I felt very lucky was shown in the show, because yeah, it's not that often that female friendship is given as the antidote for pain, but I think it's, for me, been the most healing thing in my personal life, so yeah, feels lucky. Going back for season 2 is the best. They're like all my best mates, so it's awesome being back. Like, I just get to hang out with my best buds for 6 months and pretend to have magical powers, like best job in the world. Season 2, I think you can just expect so much more joy. Everyone is so much closer. I mean, we went through a pandemic together. We've all come out the other side a lot closer. So grateful for the experience, so grateful for what it's done for our lives, and the fact that so many fans loved it, that it just meant when we got to go back, the joy, the desire to create something brilliant, the belief in the magic was amplified, and so that's what I think you can expect for season 2. Yeah, I mean, such a privilege. I think I've had this conversation so many times, being like, me? Why? What? What is going on? This is like wild. But it's so special to be able to meet the people who this means a lot to, because it's changed all of our lives. It's nice to be able to say thank you face to face with the people. Just thank you so much for all of the support for the show and for the cast, and for having an open mind in letting us tell this story and this recreation of something that was so special in one's childhood. The show is absolutely nothing without the fans, and so incredibly grateful for all of your support.